Gotta love technology. Am I right? What's up, everyone? On our plate for this week, video game marketing is dead. So says Baldur's Gate 3 publishing director. Latest rumors suggest Nintendo is bringing two major features, maybe a third, to the Switch too. Should Bethesda make the next Fallout game, or will Microsoft give it to someone else? We got details on Assassin's Creed Hexe. I think it's pronounced Hexe. Should we get excited? We'll find out. All this and more in season 8, episode 17 of Press X Start Gamers Digest. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, DJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices, aka the man that completely ruined his game in Dragon's Dogma, and now he's fighting to get it back. I am joined by
Sean MF Ross.
What does the M and F stand for?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
Okay.
I play Balatro.
Hey, man, sometimes it's like that.
Let's hurry this up so I can get back to Balatro.
Right? The man that is addicted, but not really addicted to Balatra. All right. And I know who we are. Press X Start Gamers Digest is a video podcast against the most important gaming news from this past week into an hour-long meal just for you. We are live on YouTube every Sunday when we can, because boys and girls and they thems, life is hard.
But listening to us is easy.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right. Don't forget, you can support us by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hit the notification bell. If you are listening, we greatly appreciate you leaving us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, your sock, your phone, your best friend's back, whatever you're into. Yeah, and let us know, how we're doing. If you want to join our conversations, you can by joining our Discord at pressx2start.com/Discord. All right, with that out the way, let us get into the gaming news. Number 1. Larian, a publishing director, says marketing's dead because players don't want to be bamboozled. And we've learned that with Baldur's Gate 3. This comes to us from GamesRadar by way of Jordan Gerblick. That's a cool last name. All right. So as the title suggests, the Larian's publishing director, Michael Dulce says marketing straight up doesn't work anymore. So this whole kind of back and forth happened during the a GDC talk where there was the Warframe creative director, Rebecca Ford, opened up a conversation by saying, actually, players don't want to be marketed to. And then the Larian publishing director commented on that with a very lengthy response saying, marketing is dead. Marketing is dead. It truly is. I can back this shit up, man. There's no channel anymore. It doesn't work. You used to have to have marketing, communication, and PR. Marketing was essentially a retail theory. Where you were trying to get your box on the right point of the store shelf, and you have partnerships with the retail stores. Those pipelines are gone. Now you've got the internet. Nobody's looking at ads anymore. All the channels that we would usually market through are no longer viable.
As I literally ad just popped up and I clicked away at it.
Yeah, right. I mean, he's absolutely right. Like, we are so trained to find that X button as fast as we can.
I don't even know what the ad said. It just
right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like, it makes a lot of sense. Like, I totally agree with them. Yeah. So their function is also reduced by the fact that players just want to be spoken to. They don't want to be bamboozled. They just want to know what you're making and why you're making it and who it's for.
And
He's
give us
absolutely
an
right.
accurate time on how long it's going to take.
Exactly. Like, we are so conditioned right now to see a cutscene and be like, all right, well, where's the actual gameplay? There's no gameplay here. So we can't really take this cutscene for anything beyond just being like a graphical representation of what this game could or may not be. Like, we've been burnt so many times before. Cyberpunk, like that was one of the biggest like things that like we saw months before the actual release. Like, oh man, this game looks great. They even showed us gameplay and we're like, oh man, this is awesome. Then we got the game. It just wasn't optimized for any system other than PC and the people who were fortunate enough to have a PS5. Sean.
Hey
Mm.
man, don't hate the player.
Right.
Hate the chip shortage.
No, you're not wrong. So yeah, like this totally makes sense. This article goes on to with Slate Aspire dev also jumping on this and saying that from a very young age, when I saw an advertisement, I was like, why isn't ad blocking this or ad block blocking this? And it's like, yeah, like we have tools to avoid ads. Like we have a lot of people are using streaming services and those ads no one really pays attention to because we're trained to be like, all right, whatever, let's just get through this so I can get back to my show and keep doing what I'm doing. Even YouTube serves those ads, but I bet that skip button gets pressed a lot more than a normal thumbs up button. So we're not here for those ads. This makes total sense. Um, I mean, is what I think the question becomes like, all right, well, how do you effectively like market your game if you don't have that like cachet of a at this point like Baldur's Gate or like
Um,
you know like what will be the process or what would be the pipeline now?
I mean, shit.
Because like to me
I don't know.
it feels like the pipeline is like you get your game in one of the many shows that happens,
Yeah.
and then from there you either say we're going to do like an early access thing or this is going to be exclusive for one of the major platforms and kind of just put your chips in there. But like because we don't really get ads, we don't really get actually, you know what, let me take that back. I feel like marketing isn't marketing is in a different form. For like IGN, they do
Yeah.
their like first, and that's like a monthly thing because like
But then
Dragon's Dogma.
that's still a gatekeeping thing, and you're relying on gatekeepers to push your shit like
That's
forward.
true. That's true. But
Yeah.
I think because like Dragon's Dogma did a first thing, and
Mhm.
like I think that worked really, really well for them
They didn't need that.
because say what?
I don't think Dragon's Dogma needed that.
I think it did. Like as much as I love Dragon's Dogma 1 and like
Mhm.
was carrying that thing through the mud when no one but Cab cared about that game. Like, I think the IGN push really, really helped it in terms of getting it in front of a lot of people who probably heard of it, but didn't really know what it was or care to know what it was. And like, because I think I talked about, I don't think I brought it up in the podcast, but I talked about like how one of the videos had like close to 1 million views or 1 million views. And I was just like, that is just that's not what I expect from Dragon's Dogma, like in any realm of any multiverse that I
I've heard more
am.
about Balatro than I have Dragon's Dogma. Mm.
Exactly, exactly, and that's the thing. Like, and the Blatro is another thing where there was there was no fanfare for Blatro and just kind of came out of nowhere and was like, oh my god, this game is amazing, and like that's one of those things where like it didn't need to market because that game was just so good
You
that
just need
like
good word of mouth. Just release a good game, people will talk about it.
exactly. Yeah, word of mouth is actually another like good way of like marketing your game. Like if
Mhm.
your game is really good, people will talk about it and will carry it through. So yeah, like we'll see what this new generation of like figuring out of getting games in front of people how that works. Or it could just be what we're in right now and just kind of slowly evolving. But yeah, that's that. Um Number 2. Nintendo Switch will be a conservative hardware evolution to feature full backwards compatibility in a 1080p screen. This comes to us from Wccftech by way of Francesco de Mio. Mio.
Mm.
I don't speak Spanish. I apologize. Um, yeah, so this is actually really interesting. So this is a rumor coming from MobaPad, which is a Chinese manufacturer, and they are pretty much saying that they revealed that Switch 2 will be fully backwards compatible with both physical and digital versions of the original Switch game. Visual versions of the original Switch games, yeah. The new console will also retain the USB-C port for docking, which will be compatible with the new generation of docks, featuring minor design improvements. such as a metal bracket for improved angle adjustments, as well. No, as previously rumored, the console screen will be slightly bigger than of the original console and support 1080p. Another part of this rumor is that the Joy Cons will now have a different docking system. It's going to be a magnetic docking system. So they're no longer relying on the rail system of Switch One, which I am happy. I don't know about you,
They get
Sean, but
flimsy after a while.
yeah, yeah, like I like ever since having London, it's always been like, London, please don't touch the Switch. Like when I was playing Tears of the Kingdom, it was
Mm.
always like, all right, I got to put my Switch away at all times because if London just breathes on this thing, I don't know how it's going to respond, and I don't want to have to deal with like one of the sides of the Joy-Con being broken. Um,
You just need a good belt. Um,
yeah, you take the belt and you just wrap it around the Switch, right?
both
so
ass
um
whooping tools, DJ. But yeah.
so yeah, like this is really interesting. I mean, we're getting a lot of rumors on the Switch too, and I think we're getting these rumors because more and more people are just starting to see this thing come together or being built. So we're just getting a lot of people just talking about it, which leads to believe that I think that the rumor is that it's supposed to come out next year. I still think it's going to come out next year, but I think you know we are just hearing of the makings of this thing.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this?
I
Does
feel
this
like
sound good to you?
I feel like we gotta wait and see.
Yeah.
I don't like all these rumors. Somebody needs.
Doug Bowser needs to come out and tell
Yeah.
us what the Switch 2 is about.
All I know is people are gonna be expecting much more than Nintendo is actually gonna be willing to give. This isn't
yeah,
gonna be a portable PS5 or Xbox Series S. It's gonna be a
yeah,
markedly better Nintendo Switch.
I think you're right. I think what Nintendo is how Nintendo's operating right now is that they are staying in their own lane and they are slowly improving in that lane and they're trying their best not to be compared with the PS5 or the Xbox Series X because that's not a fight they can win because they're not trying to put that stuff because they're also trying to keep the price down and do all this stuff X, Y, and Z. So yeah, I always feel that like, man, this is gonna be an update to the Switch, which is great, but Nintendo is usually the king of like having a new gimmick for their console or something that's like, oh, this makes this console kind of unique compared to the rest of the consoles. And I don't think we're gonna get that here. At the same time, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, I think. But yeah, we'll see what happens with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, number 3. Xbox wants the next Fallout game to come sooner. It's claimed. This comes to us from Insider Gaming. Insider Gaming. So this comes to us from Insider Gaming from Grant Taylor Hill. Oh my God, what happened? Oh my goodness. I got a full page menu. Good job, Insider Gaming. Okay, so there's not too much to be said here other than the fact that with the uh, popularity of the Fallout show, Xbox is hyper aware that the anticipation for the next Fallout game and it's eager to explore opportunities to make their game to make that arrive sooner than later.
Yeah.
And right now, just because of the size of Bethesda, the slate of games they have prepared, we're not going to get the next Fallout game until 2030s. And like,
Damn.
yeah, it's so at the start of this podcast, my question was, do we give someone else to make the next Fallout game? My answer is yes. We absolutely give someone else a shot to make the next Fallout game. I
Why?
say this, huh?
Why?
Because I don't think Bethesda is the best person for this to make these games.
Is
Like
it still a Fallout game at that point though?
I think it would be a Fallout game. Yeah, like I think as long as I say all this, also saying that I'm not a Fallout fan. I've played Fallout games, I've tested Fallout games, so I've seen Fallout games,
Mhm.
but generally I am not a Fallout fan. In terms of Bethesda, I lean more towards Skyrim than I do Fallout. But what I've played of Fallout, what I've heard of Fallout, it's like it's a great it's a great adventure. There's a lot of water cooler moments where you're like talking through like story plot points and stuff and so on and so forth. But like we got the evolution of Fallout through Starfield,
Yeah.
and that wasn't
I mean, I'm sure there's
Jordan.
still more Fallout story to be told because I mean they have countless number of vaults. So
Yeah, yeah, it's one of those things where like Jordan talks highly of that game from his experience, and I
mhm.
think I've heard maybe
I wonder if he finished Starfield.
yeah, he finished it. He
Okay.
finished it. Yeah. And I think I've heard like maybe two other like games media people talk like highly about that game,
Yeah.
but genuinely it's just kind of like it's a okay RPG kind of thing. And it's one of those things where it's like are we are we idolizing Bethesda to the point where they are like there's no self-regulation within the studio to be like, hey guys, look, we released this game, it was very buggy, people had a lot of issues with it, so we need to come internally and like fix this stuff before we release the next game. And the next game they're supposed to release is Elder Scrolls, so we have a long time before we get the next Fallout game. And I think it would be, and I think it also was on record too that I think there was actually like a video, like a series project that
Mm.
people wanted to do like offshoots of Fallout, but like Bethesda said no because Fallout is what we do kind of thing. And then on top of that, Sean, the best Elder Scrolls game is Fallout. No, sorry, the best Fallout game is Fallout New Vegas, which was made by Obsidian. Wasn't even made by Bethesda. So it's like I kind of
Obsidian has their issues too. So I mean, whatever.
that's you're right. You're right. But like at this point, I feel like I have a lot of feelings on this. How do you? What's your thoughts on this, Sean?
I don't care one way or the other. I don't care about Fallout. I don't care about Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, Starfield. I don't like Bethesda games. I don't.
He said, "If it
They
ain't
can take
Cilantro, I don't want to hear it."
they can take as long as they want. It's gonna be free on Game Pass. It's gonna be hot shit for a month, and the people are gonna move on.
Oh man, I mean, hey man, that's you're not you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like again, like people who are listening out there, like yes, like neither of us are Fallout fans. I could say we respect it because that's like the Western RPG that was like really really hot shit for a long time, and like people looked at that as like the standard to conversational stuff.
Mhm.
But that was years ago. We have moved past that. We The Witcher 3, it was that thing. And then now, but the Baldur's Gate 3 is probably going to be the standard for like hardcore RPG kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that Xbox next move needs to look at the 45,000 studios that they have now and figure out who can make a small Fallout game. Like at this point, they need to plan it for season 2 of the Fallout show because right now they've totally missed out on the potential of dropping like a new Fallout game with season 1 of the Fallout show. Like yeah, you have the stories about people jumping into Fallout 4 and jumping into Fallout 76 and like those numbers are shooting
Mhm.
up, but it's not going to last long because that stuff doesn't last long. Those games are pretty old. There's another news story that the Fallout 4 next gen update is not going great. That comes from Forbes from Paul Tassi. It's just not. They released it. There was a lot of bugs, and it's like, how many times can we ignore the fact that Bethesda consistently drops buggy games? Like, at some point, we have to have a reckoning, I would think. But I think too much, so I don't know. All right. Before we get into the next thing about Assassin's Creed Hexe, my wife just laughed at me for some strange reason because I said I think too much. But but yeah,
This says, "Stay
here's what you
pretty and
could
stop
do.
thinking."
Right? You can stop thinking and you can subscribe to the channel. You can like this video and you can hit the notification bell. And if you are listening, you need to think actually to write words, to write a cool review for us. So you, listener, keep thinking. We appreciate that. Leave us a review. We also appreciate that. That part, super important. Probably more important than the first part, but still, keep thinking. Yeah, all right, let's jump into number 4. Exclusive. Early details on Assassin's Creed Hexe. This comes to us from Insider Gaming by way of Tom Henderson. So there was some news dropped for Assassin's Creed Hexe, which is, if you don't know, Assassin's Creed Hexe was one of the Assassin's Creed games that was announced at this point years ago. This is the one that's more supernatural. It deals with like witchcraft, like the Salem witch trials.
Mm.
Is it that? Yeah, or it deals with witchcraft. We're gonna go with that. I don't know about the Salem stuff, but it deals with witchcraft. So Hexe. Oh, and it's supposed to release in 2026 on the Infinity platform, the platform that we have not seen yet. We don't know what it means. We don't know what it does, but it's supposed to release on the Infinity platform. So I think we'll probably see the Infinity platform this, I guess, like
Ubisoft
Summer Game
Forward or
Fest.
whatever the hell.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
like they're lining up to really like drop a big thing to show us what that's supposed to do. I realized that I didn't even check the YouTube thing. Yeah, so Hexe is understood to be a more linear experience compared to its predecessors, with some elements of open world exploration, somewhat akin to the earlier Assassin's Creed games. As already reported by Insider Gaming, Hexe is poised to have a single female protagonist, currently named Elsa. Frozen. Let her go, guys. Let her go. I don't know the rest of the words of that song. Who has some supernatural abilities. So there was actually a video that showed gameplay of this, and it showed Elsa essentially using like a spell to possess a nearby cat, and that cat distracted the guards. So that's pretty cool. That's very different from Assassin's Creed as like what we know it to be today. Like even
Yeah.
Mirage had some like supernatural element to it, especially with that like super move where you like dash across everywhere.
I would
and, like,
rather they
assassinate
just
people.
call it something else. Like, at what point is it no longer an Assassin's Creed game?
I totally agree. I think this is a problem with Ubisoft,
Yeah.
and it is just so annoying in that like they just keep, I don't even want to say they keep putting out the same stuff, but they keep making things in these umbrellas. It's like Mario in a way, but it's like a bad version of
Mario
Mario.
reinvents itself. They just change locales. You still
It, yeah.
change locales in time. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's it. Like there's no reinventing of what Assassin's Creed is. It's just more of it in a different place. And then like I appreciate Mirage for like kind of taking a step back and going into like the older
Mhm.
um the way that it used to be where it's more stealth like. That part was cool. Like that's a welcome like surprise or addition to like the formula of Assassin's Creed. But at the same time, it is just like, all right, guys, you might need to just like not do this for a while and then like come back to it when people have kind of forgotten what Assassin's Creed was. But again, this is Ubisoft, and they need that money because their other games are not happening. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna throw this in here.
Mm.
This is a little number. This is a little addendum. Watch Dogs series is dead and buried. A fairly original battle royale project has also been canceled. This comes to us from. Ooh, is this also Wccftech in who did this? Who did this? Let me see. Let me see. Oh, okay. Francesco de Meow again. Meow. I gotta figure that out. So yeah, as the title suggests, Watch Dogs is essentially dead and buried. Watch Dogs Legion did not do great, and that was enough for Ubisoft to say we're not doing this anymore. So there was multiple projects that was part of the series, and they've all been canceled. So yeah, for those who enjoyed Watch Dogs, just go back to 2, play that some more, and that might be all that you get for a good a good amount of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, um, did you play Watch Dogs?
Yeah, I played all of them. Well,
Oh,
I played 1, 2, and the hell was that? Legion? I don't know if there's
yeah.
anything outside of that, but
Oh,
yeah.
oh. So how does this news affect you?
I enjoyed 1 and 2. I kind of forced myself to play through 3. I did not enjoy that play as everybody. It was really underbaked.
Yeah.
It was a really underbaked feature.
Oh,
There
okay.
wasn't really like a main protagonist. It's just I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. They didn't know what to do
Yeah.
with that franchise, and I feel like some things can only go but so far before you just have to end it and come up with something new.
Mm-hmm.
You, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think that is a very like I totally agree. It's that like Watchdog. I feel like Watch Dogs
Mhm.
2 was like I played Watch Dogs 1.
Yeah,
I played it. I bought Watch Dogs 1 and I played it, and I was so like taken aback by the driving of the game that I was just like, I don't. It was driving the game and
you
Aiden
didn't
as a
like it.
main character. No, I don't like. I couldn't even articulate to you right now why I didn't like the driving of the game,
Hmm.
but it like I was so annoyed by it to the point where I just literally like turned it off. I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, I don't understand why this car drives like this. Like, something is not right here.
I
So
didn't
like I
mind it. It
completely
wasn't that bad.
yeah, like I'm pretty sure if I gave it another shot, I'd be like, oh, okay, I can figure this out. It's not
Yeah.
terrible. I I like the premise of Watchdog 2. I played a little bit of Watchdogs 2, but I ultimately jumped off of it because there was a lot happening in the game, and I was just
Mhm.
like, I don't have the brain capacity to really figure this out and then like start playing this game. So I put it down, supposed to come back to it, and just never came back to it. And then Watch Dogs 3 or Legion or whatever, I think I watched the start of it. I don't think I've ever played that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I as these old properties, nothing never stays dead forever. So we'll eventually see this come back years when Ubisoft is being like, and I don't know, whatever. I have nothing for that. Number 5, Dragon's Dogma 2 has done so well, Capcom is paying out more money to shareholders. That is a title. I don't. Yeah. So surprise to me, DJ, aka wow. Dragon's Dogma 2 is selling really, really well. Um, if you jump back to when we were talking about, I think when we were talking about Fantasy Critic, I think
Yeah.
you had Dragon's Dogma 2 on your list, right?
Let us see.
I think you had Dragon's Dogma 2 on your list, and I was just like, man, I hope it does well. Like I just didn't like even last year you had Armor Core on your list, and I had the same thing. It's like, man, I hope it does well, but like I don't know. Like I just don't know. Like it's hard for me to trust anymore. So I just didn't think it was gonna happen. It just was gonna be great. And it did well. It did really well. It did a lot better than I was expecting it would. So Dragon's Dogma 2 is a big hit for Capcom. It sold 2.5 million copies across PC, Steam, or
Yeah.
PC via Steam, PS5, Xbox Series X and S in just 11 days. The sprawling action role playing game went on to sell went on to s- went hmm? went on sale on March 22nd, and Capcom announced Dragon's Dogma 2 has passed 2.5. Oh, it released March 22nd, and then by April 2nd, it got 2.5 millions. Okay,
Sir, it's
okay,
your
okay.
game. You don't know when it came out.
Nah, man. Like, I looked at March. I was like, did it come out in March? That don't make any sense. What
By
was
the
it
way, I
in
just want to
April?
give the listeners a quick fantasy critic update because this is just hilarious.
Okay.
DJ is in first with 79
Hey.
points. One of our Discord people, Chris, is in second with 73 points.
Oh,
I
okay.
took a massive L somehow. I have 38 points
Oh no.
because
Oh,
Foam
is it foam
Stars.
foam start?
Yeah, if I bet on Foam Stars, I got a -10, and then I bet against Banishers, Ghost of New Eden, -10.
Oh wait, that
Yeah,
came out.
yeah. And then
Oh.
yeah, so I got good reviews.
Oh
And then my
wow.
cousin, poor Savion, just did not listen to me. My man is sitting at a -19 points. -19 points.
I think -19 is like the lowest score that we've ever had in our fantasy
Oh
critic.
man.
You got a screenshot and put that into the in our Discord chat. That is,
Hilarious.
oh man. Yeah, so back to the thing that is doing well, Dragon's Dogma 2.
Yeah.
So apparently it is doing so well that Capcom has adjusted their
Payout.
financial earnings. So they're going to be paying the shareholders a bit more money now, which is really cool. I don't. I think this is the first time we've ever covered a
Story
story
when they
like
did something
this.
to
Yeah, so I don't know if this thing that happens all the time, people just don't talk about it, or
I
if
wonder
this
if they
is like,
gave their developers a bonus.
you know what? That's a
That's what I want
great
to know.
question, John. Can you imagine being like an environmental artist, being like, wait, they got more?
Fuck
Let me
is
check
this?
my let me check my check right quick.
The hell is this about?
Right? Oh man. Okay. So yeah, Props to Dragon's Dogma 2. I want to talk a little bit more about it in the what we've been playing section because boy, did that game just hit me with a haymaker. Yeah, so number 6, Stellar Blade. Oh boy. I wish Stellar Blade New Game Plus was added before my first playthrough because it sounds like a whole new action RPG with 34 new outfits and a bigger skill tree.
Yeah, I
This
can't
comes
wait
to
to
us
actually
from,
get this.
say what?
Can't wait to get this game. Go ahead.
Yeah, this comes to us from GamesRadar by way of. Give me a second. I am scrolled all the way down. Oh my gosh, this is a long article. Austin Wood. So yes, as the title suggests, Stellar Blade is going to be dropping a new game plus, which it already did because it's. I think it happened on Thursday, and we're recording this on Sunday. So yeah, they dropped the new game plus. It comes with 34 new outfits and the bigger skill tree. They have also they've also adjusted the delay window for some of the what the they fixed the input time for basic attacks as well as timing for blocking and parrying. And if anyone remembers when I talked about the demo that I played, I had an issue with the delay of the blocking and parrying. So the fact that they fixed this and there's been so much chatter on this game, some
Yeah.
good, some bad. Like I actually think once I beat Tales of Zandaria, I'm gonna actually jump onto this too and play this. Cause I think this is like a 20-ish. I'm gonna get to Infinite Wealth, John.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it.
It's okay. Yeah, you'll get the
Hey.
infinite wealth when Marcus plays Black Flag. It's okay.
Hey, have more faith that I'm gonna play Infinite Wealth by the end of this year than I'm gonna play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Because
Damn.
I'm not even setting myself up for that one. I'll get to it when I get to it. So yeah, there's been a lot happening with this game. There's been a lot talking about this game, but this new game plus is actually a really cool thing. The developers first thought like it was going to take them a lot longer to produce this, and them dropping it this past week was actually a surprise because no one thought that was going to happen because they said it was going to actually happen like further out. So that's really cool. You know, for all the talk about how like sexualized Eve is in this game, and like
Mhm.
some people like feel like she's like a doll kind of thing, it kind of takes me back to like, I don't know, like the PS1 generation where like, you had that like really anime-ish games with like for example, what is that? Mai from Samurai, the Samurai Showdown?
Lara Croft?
No, even well, I think Laura Croft had a bit more agency in terms of her being sexualized, but my from I gotta look this up. Samurai Showdown.
Sure,
She
man.
was a
Go ahead.
fighting character. No,
Mhm.
it's not mine. Is it Samurai? No, it's not mine from Samurai Showdown. She was a fighting character. She was in a fighting game. She basically had like a red top, and like her whole chest
Oh,
was
okay.
just
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
out.
yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and like there was always like her, like there was like Felicia from Darkstalkers, the cat girl that
Mhm.
just was covered in fur, and it's like there's these bookmarks of like hypersexualized characters that stick in our brain just because of just they get they get notoriety for their outfit choice, and like that's just a thing, and then like the next thing happens, like Eve is definitely gonna be a bookmark of like a hypersexualized character. And
But I mean, she's a real person.
well, she started as a real person, and then the people just kind of like animate her face to make it look like more of an anime character than like the actual actress. But it's one of those things where like people are the people who are rallying behind this game because they've said stuff of like, oh, there's no more sexy women in video games anymore, or whatever. Like they're talking mess. Like and just
Yeah.
because you like this game doesn't mean that you side with those people. And like that's a thing that I think we all need to be aware of. Like, yeah, there's gonna be to call these people bad actresses. I don't know if that's the case. It's just more so them thinking with their dicks. And it's just like, all right, guys, like, just
And that's
calm down.
okay.
Yeah, a lot of these people are like teenage kids, and like that's gonna be a thing that they do because that's how their brains are wired at the moment. So it's annoying, but like just try not to take so much stock in that stuff. And if the game looks cool to you, if the action looks cool, jump into
Yeah.
the game, play the game. It's a really good game. I think it has like an 83 on OpenCritic, which is awesome. 82. So yeah, play. I know I will be. I played the demo and I wasn't super hyped for the demo, but I'm actually gonna come around to it because everybody's talking about this game.
Hmm.
Number 7, Escape from Tarkov devs attempt to pull out no, to put out fire caused by $250 pay to win edition by giving everyone access to an exclusive game mode, but only for 6 months. Oh geez. This comes to us from GamesRadar by way of Allie Jones. So yeah, essentially, Escape the Tarkov, if you don't know, that was one of the first big extraction shooters to really hit the market and like get a lot of people talking about those kinds of games.
Yeah.
They're still kicking it, they're still doing the thing. Now they've hit a little bit of controversy because
A little
they
bit.
have a little bit, right? Because they have this $250 unheard edition. So the Unheard Edition offers an enhanced stash, a unique item, and more slots in the in-game market. All that's enough.
Mhm.
Okay, all that's enough to be blasted as a pay-to-win experience. But what really got the community aflame was the introduction of a new offline PVE mode, which would be exclusive to Unheard. The problem with that is that people had paid for another edition called Edge of Darkness, and that's now delisted. That version of Escape Tarkov bundled together older content and DLC, but players who bought into it wouldn't be getting any of the Unheard Edition bonuses, which I don't think that's a problem because there's two different editions. But I think there might be some like
I mean, that's their right, but people just need to vote with their damn dollars and stop being addicted to this damn game. Find something else. Like,
hey
if you,
man, go suffer in DMZ.
uh, I guess I don't know. Like, I'm sure they have other Escape from Tarkov. Like,
Oh yeah.
they're just gonna continue to play the game, but not buy that one. That's not voting with your dollars. They're showing that he can abuse you in other ways. Like, he's gonna
Yeah.
find other ways to sneak other monetization things in the game, and y'all are just
Hmm.
gonna eat it up. It is what it is.
So the devs attempted to walk things back. So Battlestate Games CEO Nikita Bu-
We are now.
Buyanov, there you go, took the Reddit explaining that to honor the owners of EOD Edition and their inimitable importance and role in EFT universe, Escape from Tarkov universe, we plan to add the following new unique features to the EOD Edition as well as some unique cosmetics. Those players will get their insured items back faster, be able to skip 2-day quests per day at no cost, receive a new quest line, and gain improvements to their charisma, PMC karma, and personal trader buying limits. Perhaps most notable, they'll get 6 months of priority matchmaking as well as 6 months of access to Unheard's on offline PvE mode. Um, High priority matchmaking. That what is happening there? I don't play Escape from Tarkov, so I don't really know what that's about. It
Basically,
seems
if
like
there's a line or something,
you can just skip the line, huh?
sometimes you gotta wait, like, the servers are full, you gotta wait,
Yeah.
so you'll be bumped to the head of the line if you jump on after other people have
Oh
been
shit.
waiting, or maybe you'll get matches with higher quality connections, I don't know, but this is
Oh.
all this is all Riot Games dumpster fire territory.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. It's one of those things where, man, $250 is a lot for this edition, but at the same time, it seems like you can just play the base game fine. And
Mm,
it doesn't seem like the issue is the price tag. The issue is being locked out of the content for the people who have this EOD edition. Um,
he's
so yeah,
saying, "It's a feature in the game mode, it isn't DLC." Sir, like, what? Who's paying $250 to play a game mode? I
that's
if
wild.
this sells any If any copies sell, people got more money than brains, and they just need to
Well,
donate
people
it to
always got
Press
more
X to
money than
start because
brains.
I just don't understand.
Exactly, exactly. Help us out so we can buy this unheard edition, okay? Because we want to try Escape from Tarkov. We want to
I
be in
wouldn't,
the
I would,
EFT
I wouldn't
universe.
bless them with a sale. That's trash, man. Shit like that don't need to deserve to be bought. Like, do better, people.
Speaking of oh, actually, not really. Speaking of do better. Number 8, Xbox sales are down 30%. But Microsoft CEO is boasting we have 7 games among the top 25 on PlayStation Store. So we
Um,
talked about we talked about the 7 games thing. Did we talk about it last podcast?
yeah, we talked about it last time. The console sales, like, it's just a juxtaposition. But I mean, if they're not worried about console sales, I don't know. It's a weird time, and we have to see how this plays out because they're still working on a new console. But at this point, do you throw that much R&D money into making a new system if you know it's gonna? I don't know. Maybe they're hoping Sony slips and trips up with the PS6, and they're there to take market share again, like with the PS3 and Xbox 360. I don't know.
I think I think you were onto a couple of things. I look at this as right now, this is what Xbox slash Microsoft has to do to not stay afloat, but to like
Mhm.
make profit. Like they know that the games on their consoles aren't selling enough to really support the games that they have running.
Yeah,
And, as successful as Game Pass is, it requires a certain amount of money to keep that whole train going. So their move was, all right, well, we're going to release these 7 games on the PlayStation Store and see how it does. They released it on the store. It hit the top 25 on the PlayStation Store, and they're like, "Oh crap, this is actually working well for us. This is doing great." Our Xbox
Yeah.
sales are down 30%, but that is because we have marketed Game Pass and that Game Pass can be played anywhere. So we're not telling everyone to buy a console. We're telling everybody to subscribe to Game Pass.
Yeah.
Is Game Pass itself doing well? I don't know. We're not going to talk about that to the general public, but I guess it must be doing somewhat well.
I mean, oh yes, you're gonna have 7 out of the 25 games if you buy the publishing to every fucking thing. But
And that's the caveat. That's the caveat. Like at this point,
Helldivers was
I've
still number one though, wasn't it?
huh?
I said Helldivers was still number one though, wasn't it? Was it?
No, I think Fortnite's number one, Call of Duty's number two. I think
Oh,
Helldiver is like number 4 or something, which is still
that ain't
pretty
bad.
good. So it's one of those things where like the top 7 games that that has on this list, I think they're all like recently-ish acquired games.
Yeah.
Whereas the PlayStation games, if you look back, like they're they're not they're like if you look at it, if you use a weird lens, you can kind of like compare it with acquisitions that Microsoft made in a way. But
Yeah.
like what it boils down to is that this is what Microsoft wanted when they acquired Activision Blizzard. Like that
Yeah.
put them that just gave them the step up to be in the PlayStation Store. They also put their other games into the store, but like Call of Duty is a Microsoft thing. So like that's number 2. And that will either be number 1 or number 2. And that's just going to be a Microsoft thing going forward. So like to
Yeah.
them, they're like, yeah, we're doing great now. This is amazing. But at the same time, it's just like you bought that. Like you just bought that. We saw you bought that. Like, all
And
right.
moving on.
But yeah, and like my conversation that I had about this is that this is April. We
Yeah.
will see what the top 25 games for May, for June are, to see like what the actual staying power of these games are, to know if this really means anything other than like for this moment they're
Oh,
doing
just
well
as
with these
an
games.
initial surge,
Yeah,
ooh, what is
exactly.
this? And then this ain't my thing.
Exactly. So that's a big we will see. Uh the other story that goes along with this, Microsoft seemingly closes Bethesda France. This comes to us from Insider Gaming. So this says seemingly because there was no official announcement. This is from Mike Straw. So there was no official announcement, but there was tweets from developers saying, like, one developer wrote, 8 years of my life dedicated to Bethesda France. Uh, one community manager wrote, 8 years of wonderful encounters, memories that I'll never forget, and a unique opportunity. A page that is turning and which hurts a page that is turning and which hurts many people. Oh, okay. Pages in like they're closing
Yeah.
down. So yeah, this sucks.
Oh, it's not a lot of people. It looks like though.
Yeah, but like, wait, no, they.
15 people.
Oh, okay. I saw that 100 and 1090, but it's Microsoft.
15
Their
people. Yeah.
plans. Yeah. So yeah, it sucks, but like, the question is, oh, what were they responsible for? Like,
Publishing and marketing for that region.
okay. Well, I guess that kind of makes sense with our number 1 story about marketing being dead, right?
Yeah. So
You know what? There was layoffs that happened earlier this year because like the other half of the industry was laid off earlier this year that wasn't
mhm.
laid off last year. And I think a lot of those things was for marketing. So that actually kind of works out with like this whole thing about marketing just
it
not
it
working.
sucks that they had to close them, and those 15 people are out of a job. And I mean, It is.
Yeah.
It's
I
gonna
mean, yeah,
continue.
that's just kind of how technology goes. Like it will evolve, and that evolution sometimes mean people lose their jobs. I mean, it also means that some people, more job or other jobs are created. So it just sucks. All right, so the next up is just a couple of quick hits. Number 9, BlizzCon 2024 has been canceled. This comes to us from The Verge by way of Ash Parrish. Uh, so yeah, BlizzCon 2024 is canceled.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's one of those things where they've had some layoffs recently. They've canceled. There was like an open world game that they were working on. They canceled. So it kind of makes sense that if they don't really have anything to show, really anything to talk about,
Yeah.
and layoffs are just still like in the air, might as
I'm
well
sure
just
they
not
have
do this
something to
Blizzard
talk
thing.
about, but their general fan base just doesn't want to hear it with all the shit they've been doing with Diablo and Overwatch. So
Yeah, I mean, really and true, like Overwatch is probably a high point that they could talk about because it's doing really well right now. Like they released an update that had like a bunch of like quality of life things like
mm.
added to it or like updated to it. And that's in a good place. But like again,
It costs money to throw BlizzCon, and after they laid off 1,900 employees, and a lot of those employees are in that region, you're just gonna have people picketing the entrance.
mhm,
So
on top of like, Microsoft just acquired them. So it's just like, all right, well, I imagine there needs to be conversations of like, okay, well, we have these different silos of events essentially. Like, how do we mesh these all together to make like one
mm,
cohesive brand? So I could definitely see that being a part of just like, okay, well, let's just cool on 2024, figure out something, figure out a plan. 2025, we come back and we have this maybe different layout, different structure, or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. Number 10, Zenless Zone Zero finally gets a release date as it soars past 300 million
30,
pre-registered
30,
players.
30 million,
Oh, what did I say?
300.
Oh my gosh. I hope it gets 300. You know what I mean? I hope you do well, ZZZ. I'm rooting for you. But yeah, they got 30 million pre-registered players. This comes to us from VG247. That is YouTube. VG247 by way of
Connor McCarr.
There we go. Thank you, Sean, with the save. So yes, as the title suggests, they have passed 32 million players or pre-registered people. Um, if you don't know what Zenless Zone Zero is, it is a mobile game that created by the same people that made Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail. It is essentially a action hack and slash game with some, I guess, like city building or some kind of like town building aspect to it.
Yeah.
And then there's also this like dungeon crawler, like map filler thing, like map square tiles that you like complete and do stuff. I It's hard for me to explain this game. They're actually having like one of their like tests happening right now. So there
Yeah.
is a lot of content out there if you want to check this out. And it seems going pretty okay. The first test that they had on this didn't go too well because people were kind of confused about that like dungeon crawler aspect of the game. They thought like they were spending too much time in that and not enough time fighting. So I think there has been some balancing to make that like feel better. But yeah, I mean, this is Genshin Impact. This is the same developers. Like they understand their format, they understand their formula, and they're just trying to branch out another game that can make them hopefully as much money as Genshin Impact has made them, which
Yeah.
is in the billions of dollars. um, so yeah, the last little quick hit. With the wild success of Helldivers 2 and Baldur's Gate 3, it sends a clear message. Let devs cook. This comes from PC Gamer by way of Lincoln Carpenter. So yeah, this is that. Let devs make the games they want to make. And if you let them
With an
cook
asterisk.
with an asterisk, yes. Except for Fallout.
I was gonna say yeah, Fallout, Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
There's a few games, but genuinely, let them do their thing. It's gonna happen. Look at Apex Legends.
Hmm.
There's a few games where they just kind of made it without the publisher's knowledge, the full knowledge of what was going on, and
Yep.
the game was
Yep.
fire when it came out.
Yep. It's one of those things where it's like you have to let the developers like experiment. You have to let the developers like work through ideas and try things, and because that's the only way you're going to get the best of the game you could possibly get. If they are trying to work through different ideas, trying to work through like things they just thought about. But you know all of this comes with money because the publishers are always concerned about how much money they're spending for these games
Yeah.
and if they're going to make the money back. And Helldivers 2, Baldur's Gate 3, they were super fortunate enough to be like really, really, really good games that made that money back. And
Mhm.
when you do that, you have a great studio. But the dev time comes first, and that's what they're saying. Just let the devs cook. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, now that we got that out the way, let us talk
Very quickly.
about very quickly. Yes, the games we have been playing. Sean, what have you been playing?
So I finished Infinite Wealth, like I said last time. I don't know if I talked about me starting Final Fantasy Rebirth.
I think you said you were going
Um,
to.
I did start it. I am enjoying it. It's interesting. I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but you start out
It's not a spoiler
you start out playing as Sephiroth, and you see
because it's
him
in the
before.
demo. It's in the demo.
Oh, okay. I didn't play the demo,
Yeah,
but you start out as Sephiroth. You see him before the madness, I guess, and
that boy clapping cheeks with that sword, man.
yeah. Did this happen in the original? I don't know.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't. I have no idea. I don't think so. I think this is the first time you ever get to play as Sephiroth. I think he's there with you, but you don't get to play as him.
Okay, so I'm not an Uber nerd, so I mean, no, let me take that back. That's not the realm of Uber nerds. So I just didn't play the first one, so I have no idea, like, for frame of
Yeah.
reference, like how much of the story has changed. But
Hmm.
I'm enjoying what I'm seeing so far.
Okay.
Um,
How far are you?
mm, Let me see. The bridge broke. Oh, okay. You know what? He's retelling the story of, I guess, of what happened to Sephiroth to Barrett and Tifa and Aerith, however you like to pronounce her name.
Are
And
you are you still in the city?
the last thing that happened was I'm still in the flashback, I guess. I think like
Oh, okay.
this stuff happened at the Mako refinery, whatever the hell it is. Like you can tell I
Yeah.
haven't played much of it. I think right now Sephiroth is talking to the mayor. Like I'm not that far into it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not. Yeah, I'm further than you, but I'm not like super far in the game. Like I made it out the city. I am. For those who know, I just got to the swamp where they're talking about that giant snake. I just
Mm,
paused there. I haven't gotten further than
okay, so
that. Yeah.
my only this ain't even a gripe. I just wish you could equip more materia.
Hmm.
I just hate the limitations of it. It doesn't. I mean, I'm sure you can be a powerhouse if you link the stuff properly and do all that. Whatever. I don't know. It's okay.
Yeah.
I like the game.
Yeah.
It is not blowing
Yeah.
my mind, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. I think before you jump to the next game, I think that's been like the general like consensus that like the game is good, but it's not mind blowing, and it's in a weird spot to be like a Final Fantasy 7 game that's like not mind blowing. So we'll see.
um. So I downloaded Tales of Kenzaru. Zao. I may be about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours into
Hmm.
the game.
Hmm.
This is a good first effort. Is this a first effort? I don't know.
It's the first effort. Yeah, it's the first game that the studio made.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have minor gripes, but
Mhm.
nothing major. It's a competent game for their first game.
Yeah.
I'll say.
Yeah, like I'm also playing that as well. I guess technically like 53% or 50% through it because I've beaten
Mhm.
2 out of the 3 spirits. Or beaten is the wrong word. I've dealt with 2 of the 3 spirits. So I need to do a third one, and then there's like a fourth. There's an act 4. Um Same with Sean, or same with Sean. Wow, that's a work. Same with Sean. Um, I think that this is a very competent game. I think this is a very good game for their first like outing of making a game. I think there's a lot of pretty moments in this game. I think there's a lot of cool moments in this game. I'm not
Mhm.
necessarily going to spoil it because even I don't know what the ending is, so I'm just going to wait until I beat it to like really talk about like the actual story. I think the story of dealing with loss, dealing with a little bit of depression in terms of what Zhao is going through, like his spirit guide, which is like the god of death. I forget his actual name in the game. I think their conversations, their like relationship is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Um, they're like generally when I'm playing games, I have my like a podcast on, I'll be listening to something. And this has been a game that's been kind of hard to do that because, there are sections where you're just going through combat, not doing much. But then there's parts where they would like kind of talk and kind of talk about what's happening.
Yeah.
And like I'd have to quickly like pause the podcast, but you know what? I'm just not gonna listen to the podcast at all. I'm just gonna try to focus on this. And like if they say something, I'll be able to catch it. And like I really like the back and forth that they have.
Yeah.
In terms of my negatives, I'm with Sean. I feel like I don't have anything that's like super like major. It's just a little like small things like, and I feel like if they make another game, they'll fix these things because it's like even like the ability to reflect projectiles. You press triangle, it's like your heavy
Mhm.
attack. There's a delay on that attack, which is like can really trip you up in terms of like being able to like counter the thing effectively, like deflect the projectile effectively. And like I just kind of learned to just do it ahead of time and then like just expect that delay to like work into like me countering. And like that kind of works. And then there's like just the balancing of the special attacks and like how you actually perform those attacks. I feel like
Yeah.
this probably could have been done a little better.
Yeah.
So
I think I just beat in Dulu, something like that.
the the
In
bird,
Dulu.
the big bird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Yeah.
think my only major gripe, and this is the dumbest thing.
Mhm.
One, I wish they explained a few more things better, like item or move descriptions.
Yeah.
And two, when you check out the map, if you're holding like left or right on the movement pad and you come back out of the
Yeah.
map, you don't continue moving. You have to like let go, and it's the
Yeah.
dumbest gripe. It's nothing major. The game is competent. It's enjoyable. It's not blowing
Mhm.
my socks off, but I don't regret playing it. I'm gonna see
Exactly.
it through.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. Yeah. And then the other game is Dragon's Dogma 2. So this is going to be a bit of a spoiler, but I'm going to try to keep it spoiler free and just kind of talk about like what happened to me.
Hmm.
So I beat this game, right? Dragon's Dogma is all about continuing this cycle of dragon creates arisen will either beat or fail to beat the dragon. And if they beat the dragon, they essentially become the ruler of the kingdom. If they don't beat the dragon, they just kind of continue their life as essentially like a failure, a person who just didn't beat the dragon, and the dragon just picks a new arisen. And like that's the cycle. So at the end of this game, you are essentially confronted with continuing the cycle.
Hmm.
And what that means is that you will fight the dragon, you will fight and beat the dragon multiple times until you figure out how to break this cycle. And like it is such a cool like concept, it's a cool idea of like, no, this is literally the cycle that you are on now. Like you figure this out. We're not going to tell you how to figure it out. We'll give you one clue, but that's it. And like I I fought the dragon 3 times. The first time I fought the dragon, I was like, "Great, I did it. I beat this game. Let's go. Let's watch this ending. I'm trying to figure out how stuff happens now."
Mm.
I get to like a coronation celebration, and there's this ghost thing just like chilling on the side. And like you've kind of seen this ghost like throughout your gameplay, and I'm like, why is a ghost there? I talk to the ghost. The ghost like give me some dialogue, and then I at the end of the dialogue, I it fades to black, and I'm back on the dragon's back, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not fighting this guy again. Like, what are you talking about? So I end up fighting the dragon again. I beat it, and I'm like, no, this ain't. I did the exact same thing. Like, what's this mean? So I after I beat the dragon, I talked to the guy again. He put me back on the dragon. I was like, no, 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 no. Something is not right. Something is not right here. I'm doing this wrong, and I don't know why I'm doing this wrong. So I sat there on the dragon. I paused it because I'm just like, there. I have an item on
DJ,
me.
were you not reading, DJ?
That's the thing. You have to pay attention in this game. You have to pay attention to this game. And I'm like thinking, I'm like, something I have to break the cycle. How do I break the cycle? I'm like, oh, I realize what I have to do. And Sean, when so like this entire game, right? The water is like there's like this like beast thing in the water that will kill you instantly if you get not instantly. It will kill you slowly if you get into the water. It's like tentacles or whatever.
Yeah.
So I broke the cycle, and when I broke the cycle, I essentially killed me and the dragon at the same time, and we fell into the water, and like the brine killed us, and it basically stuff happened, and I wake up, and I am in the normal Dragon's Dogma world, but it's like literally all the water that was in the ground, like on the surface of the area I was in, has like evaporated, and like everything is like red. Like they literally did a Elden Ring moment of just like surprise. Like you are in this world, but it is
Surprise, surprise.
drastically changed. Like, oh man. So like I'm in that like underworldish thing area right now. So I have to figure out how to like essentially undo
Mhm.
what I've done to this world and like fix everything. The game is great. The game is great. Like it has its I have my issues with it, but like all that stuff gets smoothed off with like all of the like cool things that you can do in the game, all the cool things that it presents to you. And like if you pay attention, like you will see these things.
Mhm.
So yeah. That's my time with Dragon's Dogma too. I thought I was gonna beat it. I kind of beat it, but I got more stuff to do. So
Mm.
we'll see what happens there. But yeah, that's it. That's it. We did it. Yeah, so this has been another episode of Press X Start Press X Start Gamers Digest.
Oh,
We Oh, you're gonna say something?
Balatro.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Go
Sean.
play it. Cut the feed. Now, this game is poker, but a roguelike deck builder.
Mm-hmm.
It had initial controversy because the PEGI rating system wanted to classify it as gambling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you like poker, if you like roguelike games, go try it. I don't know. This shit is addicting. All productivity will maybe don't play it. I don't know. All productivity will stop. Like this game is you can't watch videos to really quite get it.
Mm-hmm.
But it has that roguelike one more chance, one more try. You are trying to make poker hands to score points and quote unquote beat the blind. You're
Okay.
getting points based off of your hands, and the blind is, let's say, X amount of points. So you're beating a small blind, then you're beating the big blind, and then you're beating the boss blind or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the loop. And
Yeah.
each time you do that first loop, I think you're upping the ante. I think there's like you do this 8 times, and then you have quote unquote beat it. But if anybody who plays roguelikes know that yes, you beat it, but you didn't quite beat it because the point of it is to unlock like all the different things. So you have
Yeah.
different modifiers. You have jokers that have like they modify your hand, so you'll get a multiple. It'll increase your multiplier, or it'll increase points that you get on certain cards.
Hmm.
Um, they have a shop. You can get tarot cards and rare
Oh, I
cards,
didn't
and
know
some
that.
are foil cards and things like that. And a standard deck has 52 cards, but then you can buy cards to add to your deck that also have multipliers and modifiers. Like just play the game.
Hmm.
Just play the game.
Yeah, like
I was gonna wait till the game to mobile, but then I saw it was on PS4, and I was like PS5. I was like, I can't wait. I need this.
yeah, I'm at the same place because I was gonna wait to get to mobile, but like I feel like with with the Switch, with the PlayStation Portal, like
Mhm.
that's kind of the best way to play it, I would
This
think.
is a perfect game for PlayStation Portal,
Oh
Nintendo
man,
Switch,
see, yeah,
uh, or cloud gaming or whatever, because it's not fast
yeah,
paced. It's pick up and play. It's only $15. Go check it out.
yeah. See, okay, I will because I'm supposed to get Solar Blade after I finish Dragon's Dogma 2. I think no,
I
after
mean,
I
you
beat
got points. It is
yeah,
also in
that's true.
if
That's
you
true.
have if anybody does like the PS Stars, PlayStation Stars little thing, I think it's like 3,900 points in there.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I might have to jump on the Bellagio train. But yes, until then, this has been another episode of Press X to Start Gamers Digest. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed making it. Don't forget to leave us a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. If you are listening, we'd greatly appreciate you leaving us a review on your favorite podcasting apps, whether it be YouTube Music, Spotify, the Apple Podcast. Your best friend's back again. Hey, whatever you're into, whatever you're into, just let us know. Don't take a picture. Just let us know. Yeah, that's kind of it. Because every little bit that you give us, it will help us become a better podcast. Yes. All right. That's pretty much it. You guys, you take care. You be safe. You remember that games are always there for you, and we are always there for the games. We may not be there for you, but we're there for the games, which are there for you. So technically, we're here for you. All right, guys. Take care.
All right, I need Sean keeps on coming down here. Like I don't know if you saw her hands like going for my face. Like,
Yeah, I did.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let me. Yeah, and then I know Dre is like, she won't go to sleep until you come up here.
Mhm.
I'm uploading my stuff. I will. I will see you online in the Discord.
Yeah. All right, sir.
Upload your audio, DJ.
I am